from Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
I'm a happy boy.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. It's being part of our program. We appreciate it. I'm going to do the next hour for a friend of mine. He's listening, and I can't identify him or any of the people involved because I'll get him in trouble, and I'll make some other people very unhappy if I do anything to reveal these identities. So I have made some slight changes that don't affect the actual substance of the story, but you'll completely get it. And this friend of mine is listening and would like your advice. But if I tell you who he is, you might be able to figure out some of the other parts of the story, and then, well, you'll see as I tell the story. Anyway, here's the deal. My friend has a relationship with a... You know how I always talk about these girls, the Sex and the City girls? You know, there's been all this publicity about the last season of Sex and the City, okay? So, this friend of mine has a girlfriend who is a member of a group like that. The girls go out all the time. And they talk about sex, and they talk about the sex lives of each one of the group. I don't know why my friend puts up with it, but he does. And so, here's the deal. My friend is sitting home one night, and his girlfriend comes home and says, "You're not going to believe what I know about one of the girls." So my friend said, what? And his girlfriend said, one of the girls who is married is having an affair with another guy who is also married. And the girls can't stop talking about it. Oh, they want to know everything about it. They want to know everything about the guy she's screwing around. Oh, yes. He's a good-looking guy. He's got money. He's successful. He's good in bed. Oh, the girls couldn't stop talking about this. In fact, all the girls have all met him. They've all met the other guy. And they like him. And my friend said, you know, you seem a little too interested in this. Well, you know, the girls, we always talk about this kind of thing. That's what we do, the girls. We talk about each other's lives. I mean, we're not like guys, you know. We talk about each other's lives. Now, I've told my friend many times that, you know, no matter what she's telling you, she's going to the girls and talking about you. As I've said on the radio so many times, the girls know when you couldn't get it up. The girls know when you weren't in the mood. The girls know whether you're well-equipped or not. They know how many times you've done it. They know when she's faked orgasms. They know everything about you. He didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. So my friend had told me this story, and every once in a while he would mention it to me, how his girlfriend had come home and told him, oh, my God, there's a new development in the story, and now she can't decide whether she wants to stay with her husband or she wants to stay with the guy on the side. The guy on the side is married, and it's really getting sloppy, and it's really getting messy, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, my friend, and, of course, as a friend of mine, we have some of the same opinions. As my friend, he said, hey, wait, you know, if your friend is doing this and you have other friends who are doing this and you all get together and talk about it, don't you think that eventually you'll be doing it to me and the other girls will be talking to you about the guy you're effing around with? Oh, no, that wouldn't happen. So the way this story worked was my friend didn't ever see the girls, didn't get together with them. His girlfriend went out with the girls and then came home, and he's sitting there watching the game or whatever and saying, what the girls have to say? One of them is banging a married guy. One of them has had sex with 4 guys this week. One of them can't meet a guy. One of them has a kid and has no social life, and blah, 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 blah. So this was going on for a long time. And then, and this is where the story got sticky. I mean, think about this now. Remember I talked about the girl sitting around the table looking like the cat that swallowed the canary? Everybody knows, right? Well, my buddy is, big sports watcher, sits home, watches the game. She goes out to talk to the girls. That gives him more ESPN time. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. One day, for some unknown reason, my friend's girlfriend comes home and says, "What are you doing next Friday?" And, of course, he was probably watching a Laker game or something like that, but he said, I don't know, why do you ask? Well, the girls all want to have dinner. They want to have dinner. Each one of them wants to bring, this one wants to bring her boyfriend, this one wants to bring the guy she's dating, and the friend who's having the affair with the married guy while she's with the husband, she wants to come along with her husband, not the other guy, but with her husband, because the girls are not supposed to go home and tell the guys what they're all talking about. So they're all supposed to appear to be nice and stable and settled and everything when they all get together. So now, all of a sudden, my friend has been roped into dinner with his girlfriend, with his husband and wife, where the husband doesn't know that his wife is having an affair with somebody else. 2 other women who also know that the woman is having an affair with somebody else. And they're all together for dinner. This is where it gets sticky. Because imagine this now, you've got a table of 6 people. And 5 of them know what's going on. And the one guy who doesn't know what's going on, he's the poor husband. Well, it turns out, here's the deal, okay? They all go to dinner. And it turns out that my friend is sitting at the table, and he's talking to all these chicks, blabbering away about nothing. And suddenly he gets into a conversation with the husband, who doesn't know what's going on. He's the only person at the table who doesn't know what's going on. My friend, who is a complete stranger, knows what's going on. But this guy doesn't know. So they're all sitting around the table. They're all at dinner. My friend gave up his Laker game this night. He's sitting around the table with it's 3 guys, 3 chicks. They're all sitting around the table. And it turns out, my friend said, when I heard this story about the wife screwing around, I said to my girlfriend, I said, you know what? This guy must be like a jerk. He must be abusive. He must be a complete a-hole. I don't even know if I want to spend the night with a guy like that. So they're sitting around the dinner table, and my friend gets into a conversation with the one guy at the table who doesn't know what's going on. Well, it turns out that the one guy at the table who doesn't know what's going on, the husband, he's the nicest guy in the world. The nicest. My friend says, I've heard a lot about you. Heard a lot about you, but we've never met before. And the reason you've never met is because somebody's afraid that somebody's going to say something. So, my friend says to this guy, well, tell me a story. And he's telling him his whole life story, what he does for a living, how much he loves his wife, how great their relationship is. I mean, the guy is completely completely clueless about what's going on around. But here's what happens with my friend, and this is where he asked me for advice, and I'm going to now ask you on his behalf, and he's listening, so he will hear what you have to say. My friend's take on the whole evening was, this guy was not only a great guy, but he starts saying things like, do you play golf? Do you play golf? I play golf. You and I should play a round of golf sometime. And then at another point in the conversation, they're talking about the mutual businesses they're in and some of the business contacts they have together. He says, you know what? We should have lunch sometime. I can introduce you to some people who will be very good for your business. And then the husband, who doesn't know what's going on, says to my friend, here, let me give you my email address. Let me give you my phone number. You should call me sometime. Maybe one time we'll go have like a guy's weekend. We'll go fishing or something. Here, take my number. Call me up. Call me. Maybe in a week or two we'll go out. We'll do something together. You and me. Just guys. Well, here's what my friend said to me. Because, we always say bros before hoes. It's one thing to be hearing this story circulating around, and your girlfriend is clucking like a chicken with all the other chickens. But now this guy was not a rumor. He was not a piece of gossip. He was an actual flesh and blood person. He's an actual person. And now he's an actual person. He's a nice guy. And my friend says to me, not only is he a nice guy, he wants to, get to know me better and hang out with me and help me with my business contacts. And he gave me his phone number and he wants me to call him up. My friend said to me, I don't know what to do with this guy. He knows my number. This guy's going to start calling me. And I know his number, but I don't want to call him because, God damn it, if this guy was a friend of mine, a year ago and I found this out, I'd have told him. But now I've been sworn to secrecy. Now I know the secret, and I can't tell him anything. I can't say anything to him. I know, and everybody else at the table knew it, but I can't tell him. So my friend said to me, what do I do with a guy like this? Do I say, hey, that's great, I'll call you? The typical L.A. flake, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, yeah, I'll call you, that's great. What's that number again? Okay, great. Let me, I'll write that down. You know what, I'm going to call you. Maybe next week sometime. And then just never call him? Or do you call him up and then go play golf with him and find out that he's an even nicer guy than you thought? And then what? Not tell him that his wife is knocking boots with some rich, successful guy that he doesn't even know about? Or do you just I don't know, do you befriend the guy and then eventually tell him? That's the least likely possibility, but what do you do in a situation like that? Now, I'm going to tell him what I told him, and maybe you agree with me, maybe you won't. I said, look, you can't become friends with a guy like that. You know too much. And you know what the guy code is. Your buddies, if one of your buddies is getting, his wife is screwing around with somebody, you're going to tell your buddy. You're telling him. That's it. Unless you're the one doing his wife. Then you wouldn't tell him. But you're going to tell him. How can you be friends with a guy and know what his wife is up to and not tell him? It's impossible. This relationship can't go forward. You take that business card, you write down his phone number, you say, very nice meeting you, I'll call you, and then never call it. Just recede into the background. And you tell your girlfriend, don't ever make us sit together at dinner again. Don't ever do it. Because you don't want to be looking at this guy. Everybody, now my friend is one of the cats that ate the canary. They're all looking at him. They all know. And my friend felt even worse now because he not only knew, but this was the nicest guy in the world. And it proves what I always tell you boys. When you're the nicest guy in the world, this is what happens to you. This is what happens. So my friend is listening, and he wants to know what to do. Should he flake? Just never call the guy? Should he go play golf with him? And then pretend he doesn't know anything and just say, hey, I'm just glad to hear you have a great marriage and a great life with your wife and she's wonderful. Or should they become friendly and then ultimately should he spill the beans? Directly or indirectly? You tell me.
1-800-5800-TOM.
I'm taking this very seriously.
Okay.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. What?
Yes, the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That is the telephone number. What would you do if you're my friend? What would you do? He is listening, by the way. Eric on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Long-time listener.
Thank you.
I'd buy the guy around the golf and tell him.
You tell him?
I'd tell him.
You don't even know the guy, though.
So what? Tell him, because he's going to be in for a world of grief. And it's better it comes from an acquaintance than a friend, because after a friend tells him, there'll be a weird relationship. They'll never be friends again. This guy will never have to worry about being friends with him.
So just to strike a blow for men against women, just go to golf with him, tell him, and then never see him again.
No, it's not strike a blow. I was friends with, we had some really close friends that I was in business with. This guy ended up cheating on his wife, that we knew their kids, and, we grew for a long, long time with each other. And he ended up cheating on her, and it just messed up the whole thing. He's better off finding right now.
All right. So, but the thing is that here's the other thing. You're forgetting the guy's not the guy who's married to this whore, but the guy who's the friend, my friend and his girlfriend. Now, when my friend tells, that means eventually it's going to get back to his girlfriend. Like, did you tell your boyfriend that I'm effing this other guy? Well, he went and told my husband. and so that's going to cause problems in his relationship, isn't it?
It'll make the relationship strong, or it'll be over. It'll prove how strong it is.
All right, Eric. Well, we'll see what some other people have to say. Thank you.
All right, pal. Have a good night.
Okay, 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Carrie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Carrie.
I totally 100% agree with you. I don't think that he should tell him. I think he should just stay out of it. There's nothing he can gain by this, and there's no way he can even build a friendship with this guy based on this kind of a foundation. Although I do have a comment, and that is this. I was married to a guy in my past from whom I'm divorced now, and he was the most charming guy to the outside world. And my comment is that I don't think you can tell this guy's the nicest guy in the world just based on one dinner conversation. There could be a whole lot going on with this guy that's causing this woman to go and cheat or problems in their relationship. And
so you think it's his fault? Really?
The Tom. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. So I've told you, my friend has a little moral dilemma. And what it boils down to is, for the longest time, a friend of mine has a girlfriend who hangs out in a pack of chicks who go out and talk about each other's sex lives. And he's been hearing this idle gossip that a friend of his girlfriend, a chick, who's married, has been having an affair with somebody else. Never really dawned on him that it would ever be important to him until one day the girlfriend said, hey, let's all get together for dinner. And he tells my friend, it'll be you and me, and it'll be this girl and her husband, not the guy she's screwing around with, but the husband, and then other chicks in the group, whatever. So now my friend all of a sudden is looking at the guy. He's not a rumor anymore. There he is. And the guy is like the nice guy in the world, says, hey, let's play a round of golf. Let's get together. Here's my phone number. Come on. And it's like everybody at the table knew that this guy was being screwed around on, except him. Everybody. Everybody. Can you really become friends with a guy like that when you know this kind of information? What do you do? Stephen on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how the hell are you?
Pretty good, Stephen.
Hey, I'm on a crappy cell phone driving down 5 North, so you got to excuse that connection.
All right.
Tell them. I'd say tell the person. I'd say tell them anonymously, though, so they don't know where it's coming
Tell them anonymously. How do you do that? You don't even know the guy. How do you anonymously tell somebody something when you don't even know it?
What if there was like an email or a letter popped in his mailbox saying, we have some evidence or there's some proof or just out of coincidence, we think that you're being cheated on. And just kind of just drop the line on it.
And now why would you have him do that?
Because everybody deserves a fair chance of knowing what the truth is.
Oh, hang on a second. Carol, you don't agree with Stephen. Why don't you agree with Stephen, Carol?
My sister was in this situation. Her girlfriend was seeing a married man, and we told her the guy was married, and she never spoke to us. She didn't want to know. People don't want to know. If they really want to know, they will find out. And when you tell them, you upset them and you break their heart. There's no point in telling them. They don't want to know.
Well, is the person who's telling them breaking their heart, or is the person who's effing another guy breaking their heart?
The person who's telling them, because if you wanted to know, face it, you could get a bill, you could find out. They're in denial. They don't want to know. They're happy not knowing. They don't want to know.
Don't agree. That's subjective to who the person is. Everybody wants to know. Everybody should have the fair right to judge what the truth is in their life. If you don't know, you should know. That way you can deal with your feelings after that point.
Well, they don't want to know. They're happy in their relationship, and they're fine with the way things are. And if you tell them, you're just upsetting them. I mean, how hard is it to get a cell phone bill or have them followed or to find out? It's not that hard to find out. They don't want to know. If they wanted to know, they could do a little bit of research.
So everybody who is screwed around on and doesn't know is because they don't want to know. There's nobody who successfully has the wool pulled over their eyes.
You know what? You can pull the wool over their eyes for a little bit, but not for very long. If they really want to know, they can find out. What do you think, Stephen?
What's that?
What do you think?
I think she's totally wrong. I think that's whacked because there's a lot of points. I mean, I think a good majority of the population cheats on each other, and I think a good majority of the population has no damn clue. So, you know what? If you can help somebody understand and know this knowledge, I say give it to them. Let them be their own judge of what's going on.
Don't tell him. He doesn't want to know. I'm telling you, he's happy. Just go golfing with the guy. Be buddies with the guy. Don't tell him.
No, I think you may not want to know, or your friend may not want to know.
No.
But you have no idea what this person wants to know or not.
There are certain personalities that they're quite happy. They don't want to know, and you telling them is just going to disrupt their lives. There are women that are with wealthy men that are quite happy. They don't want to know that the guy's going to massage parlor getting for whatever he's doing. They're just they don't look. They don't want to know.
Then they need to find someone else who wants to be involved in an illusion.
They don't need to find somebody else because they are happy. They don't want to know. They don't look.
That's no different than using Penthouse or Hustler magazine.
It's just, it's realistic. You're just being unrealistic. The guy, you know what, face it. If you're with somebody and they're screwing somebody else, you can tell. They don't want to F you. They're not as intimate with you. They're not as affectionate. You can tell. You can tell.
You can, and a lot of times you can tell, but I don't believe that you can tell all the time.
All right, Carol, Stephen, thank you.
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-TOM.
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-866.
Excuse me while I scratch my balls.
The Tom Leykis Show.
His girlfriend was out dogging around. I definitely would tell. Well, I don't know if I would tell somebody I just met.
But that's okay, because man to man and woman to woman, and,
men stick with the men and women stick with the women, and I cheat on my husband, and I told him to his face because that's the right thing to do. If she ain't got the gall to tell him that she cheated on him, she doesn't love him, so he doesn't, deserve that kind of treatment.
Hang on a second, Margie. Vivian, you don't agree with Margie. Why not?
No, I don't. First of all, he hasn't built a friendship. And
Who cares?
If he did have a friendship with him, then it would be okay to tell him. But he doesn't know this guy.
I agree with
met him one night, which was,
I agree with
3
the
hours?
other guy.
3 hours? Are you going to tell somebody after 3 hours that their wife is sleeping with someone else?
Hell yeah, because he might figure out that his girlfriend's cheating on him too. And I agree with the other guy. It's better for it to come from, someone that doesn't really know him.
You know that
they might develop
you would look
friendship.
more stupid than this guy whose wife is cheating on him. Because you have no
I would
clue.
tell him.
You have no clue of what the relationship is all about.
It doesn't
Yes,
matter
he's a nice
what
guy.
the relationship's about. If the poor guy's sitting there and he has no clue, obviously
You don't know if he does or he doesn't.
You know what?
Know.
You people, you women in this world are all about on men, and it makes me f***ing sick.
All right. Well, that's enough. That's enough salty language there, Sailor. Thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Michael on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Michael.
Hey, I'm thinking this guy should probably go on the golfing thing with the other guy because maybe he might suspect something of his girlfriend, and he might want to get some facts from this guy.
So you're saying it would be worth telling just to see if he can get any information?
Yeah, exactly.
So let me understand this. You think that even though this guy's wife is effing around with some other guy, that maybe she has come home and told what the girls say about the other girls?
Well, maybe that too. I'm saying maybe the guy wants to go golfing with him because he suspects something of his wife. And not your friend, I'm saying the other guy.
Right.
Maybe he suspects something of his wife, and he's maybe trying to find out from this guy.
And that's why he's making friends with the friend.
Right.
Interesting.
I think, he probably should tell him anyways, because as a guy, it's his duty.
Yeah.
But, definitely see if the guy has some kind of suspicion, and maybe instead of telling, he can just inform.
All right, Michael. It's Becky on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
All right, Becky.
Tell him to go play golf.
Go play golf.
Have a good time.
Do it.
Might be a great friend. If he asks, tell him the truth. Then tell the girlfriend, if her girlfriend is going to talk and play, then maybe the same rule applies for her.
Wow,
and
that's why my friend's biggest concern is that all the girls love talking about who they're banging around with.
But that's one of your rules, Tom.
What's that?
Well, when you have a girlfriend who tells everybody everything else, why do you want to continue a relationship?
You know what? I agree on that. But you see, the time to draw the line on that is when you know that your wife or girlfriend is going out with the girls at night and they're having salty conversations. You know what? Do that when you're single. But when you're married to somebody, those days are over, dear.
Absolutely.
Done. Because when you're in that environment, when one girl is married and effing a married guy, and another girl who is not married is also effing a married guy, and all the girls get together to chat about it, you have now established a group morality. And what's acceptable for one is acceptable for all. And so your girlfriend or your wife who's participating in that conversation is potentially open to that kind of activity.
You're absolutely right, Tom. And if the behavior is going to start when you're dating, it's not going to stop when you're married.
Well, you might be right about that. Don on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Don.
Take it from one of your postgraduate students, my friend.
Yes.
This one's cut and dried. When he met this guy, the guy treated him like a bro, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what you said?
Treated him but they didn't know each other.
Doesn't matter. This guy treated him without knowing him to his knowledge of business contacts and other things. He treated him like a bro in general, number one. Number two, he's got to set a precedent with his girlfriend. Whether or not he's totally into this chick or just dating her, whatever, she's got to realize that he's not good to go with this because someday she may think that he's good to go with it when she does it.
Isn't it possible his girlfriend will stop telling him stuff, will go underground, if she finds out that he's betraying her confidence?
Well, I think he should try to figure that out now before, trying to set some kind of precedent with her, saying that this behavior is cool with him, This dude's a guy, he knows about it. Your friend messed up when he went and met him once. That was the problem. If he never would have met him at all, then this guy is some vague and nebulous character somewhere. Now he knows the guy. The guy was cool to him, wants to go golfing, giving him business contacts. Now your friend is in a dilemma, see?
That's right.
This is going to be trumped by the guy rule, man. Bros before O's, it's going to be trumped by that.
Don.
So he knows the guy.
Thank you, Don.
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-TOM.
1-800-5800-866.
It was a rule when we got married. Never mess around on me, never stop belating me, and never get fat.
Never stop belating me. Words I can live with.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Eddie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Hello. All right, Eddie's gone. Casey on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Casey.
I love you.
Thank you, Casey.
I wanted to say this guy, you should tell this guy, even though he doesn't know him, his girlfriend made it his business by bringing home this information and also by introducing him to this guy. And if he doesn't tell him, he's basically saying he's condoning the group morality that his girlfriend has going on here. Where they can cheat on their husbands and think it's okay, and then it's fun to laugh about it.
Yeah, see, for me, that's where I would have the problem.
I think he needs to reevaluate.
I would be concerned if my girlfriend were hanging out with women like that.
I would be too. If I had a girlfriend come tell me that she cheated on her boyfriend with some man, I'd have to reassess whether I wanted to be a friend to her.
Yes.
But I just wanted to say I really think he should reevaluate his own relationship, and he should tell this guy, and because he needs to send a message to his girlfriend, too, that this is appropriate.
Casey, I agree with you, and I thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. Kevin on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, I was totally just going to say that what your friend needs to do is tell his girlfriend that she needs to stop hanging out with these chick friends.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, he needs to dump that bitch.
Yeah. Well, you might be right about that, because I do believe I do believe in something called group morality. I do believe that whatever one person in the group does, that sets the standard for everybody else.
Totally.
So if one person is banging a married guy, and the other girls are, ooh, tell me all about it. How tall is he? What's it like? How big is he? Ooh. If they're all interested in that, that means they're titillated by it, and that means I think they're open for trouble.
Yeah, he needs to be more concerned about his own girlfriend than telling this guy.
That's a very good point. Chad on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Chad.
I wanted to say that, first of all, I think this guy needs to go out and, play golf with this guy and get to know who he is, because obviously, like people were saying before, if the relationship, he doesn't know what the relationship's like, and they might be both happy doing that, but if this guy truly has, the wool over his eyes and doesn't know what's going on, I'm surprised nobody's brought this up, the woman, most likely, if she's behaving this way in the future, she's probably going to find a way to divorce him and take half of all the stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And why doesn't, then he'll have a chance to make that decision before she does, to divorce her. And if she's been cheating on him, he can divorce her and leave with everything before she gets a chance to do it later on. Because if he's a nice guy, he might not find out about anything, ever.
Until she backs up the truck to his front door. Sam, you're the last caller this hour. Hello.
Yeah, Tom. I've been cheated on, and it would have been good to have found out. I got to tell you, he's got to do both. He's got to dump his girlfriend because he now knows what kind of person she is. He's next, and he's got to tell the guy. There's no other choice.
So he's got to dump his own bitch.
Yep.
And he's got to go play golf with this guy. And then
yep, things happen for a reason. Somebody's sending him a signal. He's got to respond.
I understand. Sam, thank you. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. We do